And good Wednesday afternoon, everybody. Joe Gregorio checking in with you, Southwest Louisiana weather. So, I started talking about this a few days ago, as most of you know, and this morning's briefing, and I typically don't do two a day unless we have something significant going on, but what I'm seeing is now warranted, and I'm going to show you something here. This will pertain to next weekend. Valentine's weekend. Uh, y'all ready for this? Dun 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 dun. Uh, y'all know that song from the past. But anyways, um, I went into a little bit of detail, uh, taking a look at what may be coming next weekend as far as frozen precipitation and what is almost certainly coming with cold air. Bitter cold air is I'd rather put it. And a potential very hard freeze. The coldest air of the season yet. And I hinted on that, I don't know, about a week, 10 days ago, something to that effect. And models are starting to become more consistent with it, especially the GFS on its run to run consistency. So, therefore, without further ado, uh, and again, just a reminder, not saying it will happen, but it's something at this point that we can't ignore given what the GFS is projecting. Euro, not so much, and the Euro is usually late to get on board during a major event, and I've noticed that over the years, and why that is, I don't know, but we're going to take a look at both the Euro and the GFS. And again, the Euro doesn't go out beyond 240 hours. The GFS does, but anything beyond 7 days, you usually take it with a grain of salt. Uh, Unless you start to see some significant run-and-run consistency, uh, targeting a significant weather event, and so it looks like where we may be headed. Uh, I'm not going to tell anybody to freak out at this point, but rule number 7 is still firmly in play. For those of you that don't know what rule number 7 is, you can go on to the Southwest Louisiana weather page or the Southeast Louisiana storm spotter page and go into the notes and look for the hurricane rules, and you'll scroll down and see what rule number 7 means. A lot of you know what that is. Uh, so, without further ado, let's take a look. Now, uh, we've already got it set up for accumulated snowfall, the 10 to 1 ratio. Now, this is GFS version 1.6. Now, we're going to jump forward. Okay, this is 240 hours out. Okay, um, it will not allow anything past 240 hours on the 18 Zulu run. But we switch over to freezing rain at 240 hours. This is in inches. If this were to verify and play out, folks, this much accumulated ice, 1.77 inches, this swath right here, 1.52, 1.58, um, anything above a tenth of an inch of ice on trees, power lines, uh, that creates major, major, major issues down here. And that being said, Now we take a look at what may happen if, and I stress if, we were to receive this much ice. Okay, that would be a potentially uh, crippling event for the areas that get that kind of ice and precipitation. Uh, Now we're looking out at 18 Zulu on Saturday, February the 13th. That would be noon. Now we're going to jump it forward a little bit. We'll see how this translates. Um, doesn't look like it's moved too far uh, to the south, but we're going to continue, and we'll get into 18 Zulu on Sunday. That would be noon on Sunday, Valentine's Day. So it hasn't changed any. Um, with that said, I'm going to bring your attention to temperatures. I showed you this in a video this morning, but we're going to back this up now. And let's take a look. 18 Zulu. So for 6 a.m. Saturday, February the 13th, I showed you what the GFS and the GFS 1.6 were showing. And I've got to say, you know, I'm kind of skeptical, but at the same time, the run-to-run consistency is there now for the GFS, even this far out. And what happens next? We start to take a look as we move forward over this coming weekend and watch the euro as it begins to get into the time frame of next weekend where it can take a definitive look uh, up to this point. Now, I'll actually, this is 234 hours out. So let's go ahead and switch over to the Euro high res real quick. This is only the 12 Zulu. So um, let's back this up one. So you can see this is 06 Zulu on February the 13th. That would be midnight. So this is your 6 a.m. So as you see, most along the I-10 and I-12 corridor, just above that's where your freeze line is. So there is a spread between the euro and a GFS. Um, we're going to have to wait and see what the next run of the euro says when it comes out. And several hours from now, we should have that data. That would be the 00 Zulu run. It takes time for it to resolve and advance all the way through the time period. So uh, we'll take a look at the snowfall, and as you can see, it does bring a little bit of a dusting, no accumulations. Uh, Not to say that it won't, but into northern portions of St. Helena, Tangipahoa, uh, parts of East Feliciana, and parts of Upper Washington Parish. Now, will this actually play out like this? That remains to be seen. Now, what I want to point out here is let's back this up a little bit, and you can see we're in the Friday morning right now, and you can see already the euro is picking up uh, some freezing rain or a wintry mix in this area. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Um, But if out here in the Gulf, we're going to have a surface low develop. And depending on the track of that low as it ejects to the east northeast, that's going to determine how this eventual scenario plays out, in addition to what's coming in from the northwest as far as the front goes. So, not expecting any severe weather with that as far as severe thunderstorm activity or tornadic activity. Uh, the main threat with this would be winter precipitation and bitterly cold temperatures. Um, I've seen I kind of find it funny. I've seen one page uh, that said, "You've heard it here first," and they posted it about an hour ago, and who was talking about this. Usually I get to jump on everybody because, hey, that's me, and I've always been quick on the trigger there, especially with the warnings, getting those out within a minute or two after they're issued by the National Weather Service. So those of you that have followed me or know me and have followed me all of these years, you know how I operate. Many try to mimic, but there can be only one. So I'm like the Iron Maiden here of weather. So the Iron Maidens are the gods, godfathers of rock and roll, and nobody else is even on that level. They're in their own realm. So such as it is with me, so I've been told. Okay, so I don't really claim that. I just do what I do, and uh, bring you as much information as possible to give you as much advance warning as possible, uh, or a heads up, advanced heads up, as much as possible, time wise, so that you have that extra time or adequate time to prepare for something that may be coming. And I stress may be coming. Nothing is ever definitive with Mother Nature until it starts to happen. That's just the way it is. We've all seen the models blowing up the forecast and saying, we were going to have a significant or potentially dangerous severe weather outbreak. Not a peep. Never materialized. Even though all the ingredients were there, it never materialized. So, you know, the awareness level and preparedness level, that's what I stress. Awareness and preparedness. And the more that you're aware, the better you can prepare. So again, the run consistency with the GFS is there, both the GFS and the GFS 1.6. So um, and we're starting to see a little bit of getting on board with the euro, albeit not totally 100% yet. There's still some spread between the two models. So as we move forward uh, and we get into the middle of next week, uh, say Wednesday or Thursday, then we can start looking at the short to medium range models like the NAM 3K. Uh, that's going to really tell the tale. Um, so at this point, I wouldn't freak out too much, but uh, if the scenario with the GFS plays out, even just a fraction of what it was projecting for accumulated ice, that's going to cause power outages. And given how cold it's going to be, um, folks, it's not going to be a good situation at all. Um, as just it's unprecedented. So um, all I can say is find a way to stay warm. Uh, it's only going to last for about 48 hours, that intense cold at night, and then we'll start a gradual warm up, and hopefully, uh, if we do start seeing power outages, they can quickly get power restored. It's going to take a while, given the ice is going to need to melt off of the power lines and tree limbs, and any limbs that come down, especially on power lines, those are going to have to be cleared as well. And therein presents another danger: fire. So, uh, again, bear all of the dangers in mind if that scenario plays out even just a little bit. And I'll go back and uh, let's see here. It won't give us ice, but we'll go ahead and switch back here, and uh, that's good. You see the 540 lines well south here, and that's on Friday. So the 540 line is not the same for everybody, but down here is basically the line of demarcation uh, between snow and wintry mix. Wintry mix and a little bit of snow out ahead of it, and all snow behind it. So you can see how far it stretches down, even into Friday morning. So it's going to be cold. Um, Again, let's go back to winter weather here. So this would be again Friday morning. So it's already projecting accumulated ice, and I've showed you those bigger numbers, and whether this plays out, that remains to be seen. Um, I'm going to keep an eye on this and see how things go. Uh, Look at soundings, model data, and everything else, and uh, we'll just take it one step at a time. Um, let's back this up a little bit here. This will be Friday. You can see the progression of it. So I'm going to back this up. So this is Wednesday at noon. And you see it, ice is accumulated ice is already in south central Texas there. And then we bump it up and they go to 6 p.m. on Thursday. And you can see the ice is already encroaching on southwest Louisiana, parts of central Louisiana here. So um, this really doesn't bode well. And what I'm going to do before I close, we're already on the 12 Zulu. I'm going to jump ahead here. Okay, that was the 12 Zulu. Here's the latest GFS 18 Zulu. Okay, same time. So it slowed it down, but you see more accumulation here in central Texas and moving into east central Texas here. Nothing as of yet in Louisiana, and we'll bump it forward here. So we start to see some frozen precip entering into the area. Uh, this will be midnight Thursday and the Thursday morning. So we'll go to 6 a.m. Thursday morning, and you can see that it just really blows up uh, across the central part of the state and into south central Mississippi here and into Alabama, and even in here to southeast Texas and east central Texas here. So this is all indicative of a surface low and how much moisture it slings up uh, into that cold air, that super cold air. And uh, again, the track of that low, the timing of it, uh, in relation to where that freeze line is with the cold air, those are determining factors in all of this, and how this eventually plays out. So we still got a lot of time to watch and to see what the models say, but you've seen the consistency. You know, between the last run of GFS and this run here, and I could go back several runs, and timeline is a little bit different, but the scenarios is very close in similarity. So there is some run consistency there, and that's when you start to pay attention to these things. Um, to me, ice storm is the most dangerous. Snow, yeah, snow we can deal with, but when we start getting freezing rain, and by freezing rain, that means when that rain hits the ground or whatever it hits, it immediately freezes. So if it's hitting the power lines, the leaves on the trees, the tree branches, and the ground, it freezes immediately upon contact. And any accumulation of that on the trees or the power line adds weight. And once that stuff gets to a certain weight, uh, and it's already cold, those limbs are going to be brittle. And they tend to snap, especially ones that bear a lot of weight. So, this is the more frightening of winter weather events is freezing rain. Um, this is going to create havoc on the roads as well. Um, I'll say this: if this plays out, do not get out there on the roads between Thursday and Saturday. Period. End of philosophy. End of discussion. Uh, you know, as we get into middle to the latter part of next week, Wednesday, Thursday, if it looks like that we're going to see this scenario, get you some stuff at the stores. Last a few days until power gets restored, because power's probably going to go out in various places. And make sure you have something to keep you warm. If you don't have enough blankets, go buy an extra one. Uh, go buy a couple of extra ones. Uh, Warm ups, heavy socks, anything. Um, a lot of us don't have fireplaces, so you know therein lies a big problem. A lot of us also don't have generators. Uh, we have generators here, but don't know if they're going to be able to pull the power of the heaters. So they may or may not. But regardless, a lot of people don't have any of that kind of stuff. So it's imperative that if this looks like it's going to play out, that you have ways to keep warm. Uh, Churches, charitable groups, uh, animal shelters, do what you can to help if this scenario looks like it's going to start to play out. Um, this is it's potentially life threatening. Actually, it is life threatening when you get temperatures that cold, especially with freezing rain. Um, no power and it's that cold. People die from hypothermia. So um, be mindful of that. Keep a very, very close eye on your local weather forecast. They may or may not be talking about it right now, but when they do, you need to, if they haven't already, you need to start paying attention. So as we look ahead here, you can see here's your radar reflectivity for 6 a.m. Thursday. And you can see freezing rain, big wide swath of freezing rain, and then you got sleet behind it in the purple, and that sleet's going to accumulate on top of the ice, and that may be why we're seeing those high numbers of ice accumulation, and that is not a good sign. And you see a couple of snow squalls in here as well, But for the most part, this is more of an ice storm. And we saw that back in February of 2014. Uh, I was just going through the memories on Facebook, even though I can't post anything until the 12th. Um, I still scroll through and read and see my memories and all that stuff. And, you know, on the old Red Stick Storm Spotters page, you can go look. Uh, that was before we rebranded as Southeast Louisiana Storm Spotters. Uh, that page, Red Stick Storm Spotters, is still up. You can go see. For those of you that don't remember, it was somewhere over here in Acadiana. They had some Cajuns out there in their airboat taking off down ice-covered road. It was funny as heck. That video is up there. Uh, I watch it from time to time. It's crazy. So, you know, as Cajuns, we have our ingenuity moments there. But uh, I will say this: my daughter likes snow. This ice, I'm probably going to get a nasty message from her about the ice. She'd rather snow, same as me. So, Megan, sorry, baby girl, follow my instructions. Uh, Prepare for a possible ice storm. Uh, will it rival? I think Houston had something 1895 or something like that. Major ice storm event. Will it rival that? Who knows? Probably not, but it doesn't matter. Any accumulation of ice is no good. Period. Um, that just creates too much havoc with roads and down power lines. So, uh, and what this also tells me is that, you know, if we get any snow back on the backside of this, and I'm going to advance forward here um, in time frame here, and because if we do get snow on the backside of the ice and sleet event, that's going to add insult to injury. And let's see here. So this is probably a mix in here, probably a sleet and snow mix. So any accumulation of snow on top of that is just going to add extra weight. So you don't really see a whole lot of snow, but you see a ton of ice and sleet accumulation. That is not good. That does not bode well. Um, Folks, it's just, it is what it is, you know, and unfortunately, in these types of situations, I have to be the bearer of bad news or potential bad news. Again, don't kill the messenger. Uh, we enjoy our good weather as much as we can, but when we start to get into something like this is when I go to work and start dedicating a lot more time into things. Start looking at uh, different models and soundings and start crunching numbers and seeing what's what. And right now, despite the euro, I don't like what I'm seeing. So, and I've got that feeling. Those of you that know what that means, you know the drill. So, again, I just wanted to, I'm going to raise the awareness level a little bit with this, not really hyping it. Uh, it's basically just raising awareness. If I'm hyping something, you're definitely going to know when it's hyping, and I don't hype it unless I'm 100% or nearly 100% convinced that an event's going to happen. So right now, the possibility, confidence is increasing, and therefore I need to pass that along. And once you won't see the National Weather Service say little, if anything, about this until we get closer in time. Um, most of the time they're like me. They take these long range models with a grain of salt, but when you start to get run to run consistency, that picks their attention and they start watching. Although they may not post about it, they're watching. Believe that. Trust me. I know the drill. I know how the system works. Um, so they're certainly keeping tabs on this, and as we move closer in the next week, then if it looks like this is going to be an event, then you're going to see them start to raise that awareness level to a whole nother level. So uh, again, get ready for it. Be prepared for it. We got plenty of time. Uh, I think I've covered all the bases. So uh, this little uh, twofer video briefing. Uh, it's an anomaly, but this is an anomaly as well. So uh, right now, don't worry too much, but just keep tabs. I'm going to do the daily briefings, um, and if I have to post a separate static image or something, I will. Uh, but I don't like doing that a lot of times because I can go through in the video forecast and cover all the bases and talk about it versus typing out a whole bunch of stuff that you have to read. You can listen to it now. So again, bear in mind what may be coming. Not saying it is, but what may be coming, and start your prep now, just in case. So tomorrow, I'm going out there. I'm going to finish wrapping the water line up and getting it secured and ready, so I don't have to worry about it next week. This will be done well in advance, and I won't have to fool with it. And so I guess that's going to do it for now. Uh, Sorry to freak you guys out if you're freaking out about it right now, but um, again, don't freak out. Right now. Uh, what I will say is I'll echo one of somebody that I highly respect who's now retired, the legendary Mike Graham from Channel 9 in Baton Rouge. We may issue a cuddle alert for next week. So Valentine's cuddle alert may be warranted. Uh, so again, be ready. And oh wait, there's more. Nope, just kidding. So that's going to do it. Thanks for tuning in on this special evening weather briefing, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.